What's up, Bucktooth Buckos? Oldmantup coming at you today with the post-game press conference for Week 6, where we played Shady Penguin, the New York Yankees, and won with a 2-0 victory. So yeah, bueno, that was all good. So really looking forward to this 2-week break we have coming. Gonna be able to sit down and actually do some things non-GBA related on the channel, which is gonna be really nice. So let's dive into the questions before we get too off topic. Okay, Justin Brown asks, Coach Tup, great season so far. I'm looking forward to see what you can do in the future. Thank you. Anyways, if your Season 5 self and Season 4 self battled, who do you think would win and why? And what do you think the differential would be? Well, if I had to honestly guess, and this is not me trying to toot my own horn, but I think Season 5 Tup would just wipe the floor with Season 4 Tup, because I played so poorly and my team synergy was not very well. Granted, Team 4 me has Mamoswine that I played like booty with most of the time, so I'm going to discount that. I just feel I've been playing a lot better this season. I've been learning and adapting a little bit quicker than I did last season, obviously. Having 3 wins compared to the 1, and we're only at mid-season. So I would honestly think I'd probably beat myself, maybe 3-0. Ivan Valdez says, if you had one word to describe the season that's passed, what would the word be? I'm just going to say awesome. We've had a really good season. We've had our ups and downs. So we're going to go with awesome. Joe Reed, Tup, if you could change one thing from the first half of the season, what would it be and why? And I'm going to go to my game against Lars, and I'm going to say it's going to be that Tyranitar read on Cobalion. Looking back on it, that was fairly obvious. I just had my mind locked into the fact that he was not choice scarfed, obviously. And I think up until that point of the match, it was fairly even, and I think had that mistake not happened and we were able to play around that accordingly, we'd have won the match. So that's how I feel. Had we gone into Jellicent instead of staying in, if Jellicent was still alive at that point, if I had him in that match, I don't remember. I think I did. But if I'd gone into Jellicent, he would have had to switch out. I would have gotten a free Will-O-Wisp, a free Scald, a free something, and it would have just been awesome. So that's what I would change if I could go back. The Ryan Plummer, Coach Tup, are you where you expected to be after the first half of the season? I was expecting to be undefeated in my march from worst to first, but we are still well within the playoff hunt, as we are only 1 game back in our own division. So that's bueno. What adjustments are you going to make for the second half of the season? Just continue to play a little bit more endgame minded. I noticed a lot of my losses I lost because I lost sight of the endgame, and I got trapped in the moment that I need to do what I can right now instead of playing for, again, the endgame. So that's what I want to do for that. Iron Fist Ape says, Tup, out of all the games you won, which performance of yours am I the most proud of? And I'm going to say it's probably my win against Shady Penguin. Mostly because that was a very, very even match almost the entire time, and I am very, very pleased with the way the Arcanine Jellicent read on Sharpedo, which ultimately stopped it from sweeping me, went. And if I had to point out one singular moment that I'm the proudest of, it would probably be that. Okay. Trogaholic says, Tup, you're coming off a very impressive win, on top of an already impressive season so far. So during these next 2 off weeks, how do you and the team plan to celebrate? How do you expect us, the fans, to celebrate? Me and the team's getting, obviously, the full week off to go spend Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever they prefer to celebrate, with their families and friends. Because what is more important this time of year than to spend it with your friends, family, and loved ones? The year of New Year's, we're going to come back to some light practices to get everybody back in the groove and things like that. How are we going to celebrate? The way pretty much everybody else celebrates. We are just going to meet up with our families, have fun with friends, and just be good, decent people and Pokemon to one another. How do I expect the fans to celebrate? Hey, any way you want to. If you want to throw a shit, I mean, everything that is legal to do. I don't want you burning down your town. Because, I mean, let's not get crazy. So, if that's what you want to do, you can do that. Celebrate however you please. Again, within the confines of the law, please. I don't want anybody doing anything crazy on my account. Now, Black Spotted Zebra, artist of the Pittsburgh Pirates logo. Do you think those early status misses would have affected the differential? Will the team be practicing in the mountains during the break to work on no missing when the second half of the season starts? You know, we've been thinking about accuracy drills, but I don't think the mountains is a place for that, because every mountain Tyranitar tends to go to, it flattens to make a nest. So, I'm really sick of running out of mountains, and so is Pennsylvania Game Warden. Keeps getting on my case about the Appalachians disappearing. So I don't think we're going to be doing that anytime soon. Do I think the status misses would have affected the differential? Maybe a little bit, but I mean, it might have changed it from a 2-0 to a 3-0, just making it a lot easier. I mean, ultimately the burn ended up on Venusaur unintentionally. Well, not unintentionally, from the Flare Blitz. I mean, granted, it would have been 4 or 5 more turns worn down, maybe having to go for a synthesis earlier. Who knows? I would say the most important miss was the Toxic on the Rotom Heat. It would have been whittled down a lot faster than it was. It would have had 4 or 5 turns of, even if it was just singular Toxic damage on it. And it might have gone down a turn earlier than it did. Ultimately, I don't think it would have changed as much. Okay, Red Bishop. Tup, looking back at the first part of the GBA season, what would you say has been the biggest positive for your team so far? And what has been the biggest regret, i.e. misplay, a loss when you had the game in the bag, losing a key Pokemon too early in a match, etc.? Also, keep up the good work and hope for a positive win-loss record for the second half of the season. Thank you very much. What was the biggest positive for the team? I'm going to say coming out with our win against Shady Penguin. He was, and I say this as kindly as possible, he was the first coach we beat that didn't have 0 wins. I mean, granted, we played Gubs week 1 and beat him, but 0 wins at that point. We played Crimson Seabad, had 0 wins at that point. Playing a coach and beating a coach who had as many wins as we did was nice. Especially with as respected a battler as Shady is, it was very nice getting that momentum going into the second half of the season. So I think that was the biggest positive. Biggest regret and misplay. Again, I'm going to go back to the T-Tar play, because just looking back at that, it was just so smack me in the face obvious that it drives me crazy to this point. So that's pretty much my positives and regrets. So Alakazam 428, otherwise known as Owen. Tup, out of the last 6 weeks, which game are you most looking forward to? I'm looking forward to almost every match in my second half of the season, because I mean, I play a lot of good teams. I played the Holuchas and the Red Sox with Fizz and Super Blah, 2 of my oldest friends on the internet, so I'm really looking forward to battling them in this style and format. I play everyone in my division again, the Giantes, the Dawn fans, and the Rampardos, and my only non-division in my conference match is against the New Orleans Pelipers, and that is going to be an interesting match, because he was the only coach and team that I beat last season, and we're going to get to rematch this season, so it's going to be Battle of the Bruisers coming up, so you guys be ready for that one. I'm going to say the one I'm most looking forward to, though, actually, is probably going to be my Week 7 match, and that's against Yo Fizz and the Atlanta Holuchas, just because he's been pretty much my best friend for as long as I've known him. So that's what I'm looking forward to, and I'm looking forward to lay the smackdown on his Rudy Poo Candy Anus. coming for you. Okay. Ben Griffiths asks, which member of your team would you say is your MVP for the first half of the season and why? Now, if I had to pick an MVP, the Mon on my team with the highest kill-death differential was Kyurem, with 3 kills and only 1 death, but it only made 1 appearance. Excadrill has come to every match, and Thundurus has come to every match. They're the only 2 Pokemon that have done that. The only Pokemon that hasn't made it to a match is Golbat, just because I really haven't liked its matchup against any of the other teams so far. I'm going to say it's a toss-up between my wall core. I'm going to say between Arcanine and Jellicent. Even though Jellicent only has 2 kills and has a -2 kill death differential, it's put in the work on some of the teams that I've had it in there. It obviously was a key factor in beating Shady Penguin. Arcanine has just been a beast. It's +1 kill death ratio, 5 and 4. And I'm going to lean on Arcanine at this point, just because it has done so many different things for the team. It was more or less a wall breaker that, even though it didn't break the walls, it ultimately brought down the walls late game against the Giantes, or no, I'm sorry, against Lars and the Donphan. It's just played a good role in so many things, and it survived very deep into a lot of the matches that I brought it to. So I'm going to say Arcanine is the leading MVP thus far for the team. I mean, Excadrill is always awesome, but it itself hasn't been as crucial use-wise in some of the matches, other than it being a huge threat. But in practice, I'm going to say Arcanine has probably been the MVP of the team thus far. Okay, Luca A., our last question, asks Coach Tup, instead of looking back, I'm looking at the future. Uh-oh. What member would you take with you to Season 6 if I had to choose now? AKA franchise tagging. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Well, thank you. Same to you, my friend. If I had to franchise tag anything, like say I was dead last in the draft because I'm going to win the finals. So if I had to take one Pokemon, and I'm going to leave this exclusive to my OUs and Mega. Well, I'll throw my wall core in there because they've been just fantastic. And I mean, unless I really grow attached to something, I don't plan on franchise tagging, just like I didn't franchise tag going into this season. Because you live and you learn. But if I had to franchise something at this point, I would probably lean on Excadrill. Just because it is just so fantastic in this format, and it's just awesome, and yeah. So I'm going to say Excadrill. Because Steel type, fantastic. Ground type, fantastic. You need one of each of those. Mold Breaker, fantastic. Sand Rush, if you can get it, fantastic. And it just has so many bonuses for this format. And I mean, I brought it to every match, so obviously it's really good at things. So I mean, even being either Sand Rush or the Mold Breaker, because I brought Mold Breaker 2 weeks now, it has just been fantastic, even though it hasn't gotten the work that I feel it should have. I'm not saying I'm disappointed in it by any stretch of the imagination, but it just hasn't gotten... I haven't gotten the good feel for using it as effectively as I feel I should, but I don't think that would deter me 1 second from franchise tagging it if I was going to franchise tag Amon. So that is all 11 questions. Alright guys, this has been Oldmantup, and this has been the post-game press conference for Week 6 of the GBA. Now, we're going to do, like I said, another one of these videos. I'll probably start the questions sometime late next week, so right around probably either the day before or the day of New Year, so probably next Thursday or Friday. Just depending on how things go with the holidays and family and such. But I will probably be doing the press conference for my Week 7 match, a pre-game press conference, which I haven't done yet, for my match against Fizzy It's not Fizzy Stardust anymore. Yo Fizz and the Atlanta Haluchas. So alright guys, look forward to that, and look forward to seeing some random content. And if I don't get anything up on this channel before Christmas or New Year's, have a Merry Christmas, a Happy Holidays, depending on what you celebrate, and a very happy and safe New Year. Alright guys, this has been Oldmantup, and we will catch you on the flip side. Peace.